Everyone, welcome here to Weber State. Glad to have you all with us. It's an exciting day for Weber State football and for our university. Paul Groh, Director of Athletic Communications, will start off introducing President Charles White, who will say a few words.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's a great day to be a Wildcat.
Yeah, baby.
There are only two things that you should really know about me. One is that I had a long career at the University of Utah, and I'm a new president. Just moved up to Weber State on January 1st. We're just delighted to keep that transition in that direction going. And the second thing is that I'm not a football player. I'm a chemist. And so I had a lot of really great help in this search, this very successful search. And so I am going to immediately turn this over to Jerry. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for being here. We're excited to be here today. In fact, I can almost guarantee you that I am as excited as anyone in this room to be here today. And I want to thank President White for his leadership and direction. I also want to thank our committee, which consisted of our Vice President Norm Tarbox, Joel Bass, Amy Crosby, and Jerry Graybill for their work and their tireless efforts over the last few weeks. I also want to take a minute and thank our assistant coaches, and I don't see them in the room, but they have been wonderful through very difficult circumstances, and I wanted to just recognize them. Robin Flugrad, Steve Morton, Colton Swan, Ted Stanley, Eric Lewis, Justin Riscotti, Jason Belford, Ryan Smahat, and Craig Stutzman. These men have been outstanding during a difficult time, and I'm appreciative of the stability and the leadership that they have shown over the last few years, and especially over these last few weeks. I wanted just to make mention of Jody Sears and thank him for his efforts. He was put into a very difficult situation, and you'll never meet a finer man than Jody Sears, and I wish him the best and support him in everything that he'll be doing, and he's going to be very successful because he's a man of integrity and character. And we're grateful at Weber State to have had him as part of our program over the last 2 years. This is certainly a great day to be a Wildcat. Just over 2 weeks ago, we embarked on an extensive search for a head coach to direct our football program. We looked in many different areas and at many different candidates with a number of different backgrounds, strengths, and skill sets. And we have sought to find someone who met a certain set of criteria that we felt was very important for our institution. We wanted someone who was a proven and respected leader that would continue to build our program the right way with the right type of student athlete, and who would do it with the utmost honesty and integrity in building that program. We wanted someone who valued academic success and the well-being of our student athletes, someone with attention to maintaining compliance for Big Sky rules, for the NCAA rules, and doing it the right way with integrity. We sought a person who had a strong connection to the high schools programs in the state of Utah, and who would be committed to building our program with a strong recruiting emphasis based here in Utah, and then with key strategic areas within the West. We wanted someone who had a good understanding of our unique culture, and who was committed to building a strong and vibrant tradition of success within the rules that we set as an institution, within the guidelines and the mission of this institution, and not outside of that. It's very important to us. We wanted someone who would connect with people in a positive way, with energy and passion for Weber State and this great community that we live in. And we wanted someone that had the experience and the know-how to connect with our student athletes and to rally the troops to get our program back on track. Through this rigorous process, over countless conversations and many people that we interacted with, we found Jay had interacted throughout his career with top-notch coaches. He's been mentored by the best, who are supportive of him and want him to be successful. We believe, and I believe, that Jay Hill is uniquely aligned with the attributes that we were looking for in a head football coach. We're excited to welcome Jay to our Wildcat family, along with his wife Sarah, and their 4 children, Ashton, Elena, Jacob, and Allie. I joked a little bit with Sarah this morning. She's an Idaho girl. I married an Idaho girl, and she's got some spunk, a little chip on her shoulder too. And it didn't take long to realize Jay's the man he is because he's supported side by side with a very good woman grateful to welcome you to our family as well. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today the new head football coach at Weber State University, Jay Hill.
Okay, I am so excited to be here. I've coached football in this state for a long time. I've always admired Weber State University, and I am super, super excited to be a Wildcat. Just a couple things real quick to start off. Jerry mentioned some of the mentors I've had. I've had the great privilege to work with some of the best coaches in the country. And the last one I worked with was obviously Coach Whittingham, and he always took notes on a note card. And I used to make fun of him for it, so having said that, I'm going to refer to my notes and what I used to make fun of him for. Last night, we were trying to keep this quiet till today. Last night, a story broke, and in the story said that I was going to accept the head coaching job here at Weber State. The story also said that I was 43 years old, which is not correct. I'm 38, so they aged me 5 years, okay? So I figured that from the time that I had accepted the job until the time the story broke, which was less than a day, I aged 5 years. So given that, you know, in a couple weeks you might be looking for another coach if I continue to age that fast. Just a little bit about me, real quick, okay? I grew up a Utah kid. I grew up down in Lehigh. I grew up wearing purple. As a Lehigh Pioneer, it's good to put the purple back on. And then I went to Ricks College out of high school. I was not a very heavily recruited kid out of high school. I went to Ricks College, and that's finally where football made sense to me. My career started to take off. I started to make more plays. I connected with a coach that things just finally made sense in athletics. After that, had a good, successful career there. I went to the University of Utah. I played at Utah in 1998 and 1999. After that, I signed a free agent contract with the Buffalo Bills. I got released by them, got picked up by the New York Giants, got released by them. I went through this process of getting picked up, getting released. I played in the XFL a short time, and I said, this playing is for the birds. Okay, we just recently been married. We had our first little girl, and I was bouncing all over the country trying to make this NFL dream work. And that's when I first was contacted by Coach McBride to coach. And I owe Coach Ron McBride a lot. Okay, he was my coach when I was in college. I know he's had great tenure in this state as a coach and also at this institution. I owe that guy a lot. He taught me a lot of football. He taught me a lot about the charisma that it takes to be a great coach. All right, and he is someone that I owe a lot to. All right, just a little bit about me. Past that time, I spent the last 13 years at the University of Utah coaching. I was a special teams coordinator, and I coached every position at Utah except O-line, quarterbacks, and linebackers. Every other position I coached down there. I think that leads to me being able to get coaches to teach it the right way and do it the right way, okay? Because I've done it. I've done almost every position, and I'm excited about that, being able to help other coaches just know the exact ins and outs and details of their assignments. My personality, okay, what Weber State can expect, what the fans can expect, okay? I'm all about effort, energy, excitement, okay? If you're going to sit in the crowd and be quiet and give us a little claps, that's not me, okay? I want this thing rocking, okay? That's what we expect, that's what we want from our players, is to show that energy and excitement. And then the other thing is just positive juice, okay? I want the whole city of Ogden to just rave about what we're doing here at Weber State, okay? And I know we will, okay? Now, where does that start? That starts with winning, okay? And so that's my job, is to get that on the field, a winning product on the field, and we will get that. My coaching philosophy is a mix, okay? It's a cross between the 4 mentors that I have and the 4 guys that I owe the most to in this profession, okay? The first one being Coach McBride that I mentioned before. And then we had a guy right after Coach McBride come in, Urban Meyer, that I sat with him for 2 years, and I took every note and everything I could take from that guy. Notes, philosophies, scheme, He was a true mentor to me, and his success is obviously speaks for itself. Okay, after Coach Meyer is Coach Whittingham. Okay, and he was the one that finally gave me my first full-time coaching responsibility. I played for Coach Whittingham when I was a player. That guy is as good a coach as there is in the country, and as good an X and O's guy as there is in the country. And he truly taught me discipline and structure. And that's what it takes to have a great program. And then the last one I just want to mention, and there's many others, but the last one I want to mention is Gary Anderson. You've seen the success he had at Southern Utah as a head coach, at Utah State as a head coach, and now he's doing great at Wisconsin. We knew he would do great. He's kind of a mix between all those guys that I mentioned before, and hopefully I can be the same guy, a mix of all four of those guys. If we got it, we got a winning recipe, that I know. So where are we at with Weber State? There's a tradition here, okay? They've won football games in the past. I know we can win football games again. We got to get back to those winning ways, and we will. Just recently, Coach McBride was here, took this team to the playoffs. We expect to be back in the playoffs, and I know we can do it. There's good players in the program currently, and we got to add more players to that mix. Jerry briefly mentioned my ties to the in-state, to the Utah kids. I've coached, I've recruited in-state as the head recruiting coach at the University of Utah since 2008. So if there's anybody who knows the recruits in-state, I know them, and now we got to get them here, okay? So I know what it takes to get them. We just got to make sure that we show that the players in-state, they're an emphasis of ours, and we're going to go after them, okay? Now we're going to have to supplement that with some kids out of state, and those guys are going to be very critical to our role as well, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows that that's going to be a big emphasis of ours. And then after you get the players here, it's just about rallying the troops, getting everyone excited, and playing with the discipline and the structure that we can be proud of, okay? We don't want a bunch of hoodlums out running the street that we're not proud of. We want guys that are going to interact in the community, that they're going to make us proud, and that's the kind of program we're going to try to run here, okay? That's a little bit about me. I probably hit things too fast. Sometimes when I get all excited, I start talking fast, and that's just me, so I apologize for that. I do want to answer any questions that might be out there from anybody in the audience, so have at it.
Jay, are you bringing anybody from Utah staff with you?
So right now, currently, what I owe to the current coaches here at Weber State is I will take an evaluation on every coach that's currently here, and then once I've made that evaluation on the current coaches, I will be putting my place in staff, my staff in place. I'm sorry. Quite frankly, I can't comment on that yet. Yes.
Can you give us just a thumbnail of your offensive and defensive strategy?
Absolutely. Okay, what I believe in offensively is that your plays and your philosophy have to match with your personnel. Okay, so over the next couple weeks, what I will do is I will take a good defined look at what the personnel is currently here, what we can supplement that with through this recruiting class, and then I will put together the exact philosophy. Now, here's one thing I do believe in. I believe in up-tempo. I believe in personnel groups where we use the tight end. So I will use 1 or 2 tight ends in the game the majority of the time. I think they create mismatches in both the run and the throw game. And again, I want to be up-tempo. If you can run the ball in college football, you can be successful. We got to be able to run it. You saw a great example of that in the SEC championship game a couple weeks ago where Auburn just ran the ball for over 500 yards, and that's the key to success, is being able to run it. Now, off of that, you got to be able to get the ball down the field, and our play action game should be good, but that's all going to be predicated upon how good we can run it. So bottom line, to answer the question, mainly 2 tight ends. There will be some times where we spread it out as well, and the tight ends will also flex out. We're going to be upbeat, fast tempo. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to hit teams down the field with play action. Okay. And one thing about my philosophy, and if you followed me at the University of Utah, I'm not scared to run trick plays. I'm not scared to make it entertaining for the fans. If those plays don't work, so be it. But darn it, the opponents are going to have to prepare for them. Okay. And I'm not going to be scared to let those things rip. Okay. Defensively, the plan that we have in place at the University of Utah is as good as any defensive scheme in the country. We've proven that year after year. 2 years ago, I sat in defensive staff room when I was coaching corners at Utah, and we had the top defense in the whole Pac-12 conference, and it wasn't even close statistically. So we're going to play press man, get in your face defense, and we're going to challenge wide receivers to get off the line. We're going to load the box and stop the run. So that's what we believe in. That's what I believe in. That's what we believed in at Utah, and it's been a great philosophy for Coach Witt and for all of us down there. So, yes.
Jay, I'm curious how much having a master's degree in sports psychology has helped you to this point. How you expect to continue to use that?
Greatly. It's been one of the backbones of my career, I believe. I got my master's degree in exercise and sports science in the psychosocial division of that, so it was mainly sports psychology. It's helped me immensely. The majority of the classes that I took were in motivation theory, so I mean that's what we do, right? We're here to motivate fans, we're here to motivate players, we're here to motivate everybody within the program, and that's what we do. Now, what I want to build towards is too many times people are motivated extrinsically with rewards, with punishments, things like that. I want to build a team that's intrinsically motivated, meaning that they're playing for the love of the game. And same with the fans, right? You come to the games because you love the game, and that's what we got to build here. And I think I know how to do that based upon education. So,
Coach, what are some of the things that about Weber State that appealed to you before you even put your name into the hiring process?
well, first and foremost, I was not interested in a job as a head coach unless I knew I could win there. Okay, Weber State, you can win here. They got facilities. They've got a community that's close-knit. We can get the students to come to the games. Sometimes, you know, you get on these places where the campus is way removed from the stadium. I didn't want a place like that. I wanted a place where I could have a close, tight-knit community and a place where I knew I could go in and win. And I think Weber State matches that. It's in my home state. I take great pride in the football in the state of Utah, and so all those factors led to it. And then I'll be quite frank, Gary Anderson and Kyle Whittingham both told me that this is a job that they would have liked in their stage of their career, early in their careers. They would have both wanted this job as well, so that led to that as well. So, yes?
After you win your first national championship, will you try to repeat it with your team?
That is a great question. No, I'm not here as a quick stay. Okay. Now, I will say this. All right. The way college football is, you have no idea what job's right around the corner. Am I coming here as a springboard to the next job? No, not necessarily. Okay. I'm coming here to turn a program around, to win football games, to make our state proud. And if in that time there comes a job that you can't turn down, that's part of the profession. But I'm not here for that. Okay, I'm here to build something that we can be proud of. And if I can be here and someday work myself into a long-term contract that I don't ever want to leave this place, great.
Jay, what was Kyle's reaction when you told him Jerry had offered you the job?
Well, he and I worked together for 13 years, and I don't believe I was one of those coaches that he wanted to lose, obviously. He and I were very close, and we've had great success in my units at Utah. So it was obviously one of those things where he didn't want to see it happen for him. You know, he came back and countered with trying to keep me there. But it was also at the same time something that he knew I wanted to do. I wanted to be a head coach, and he knew that was something that I was aspiring to. So anyway. Yes. Sorry, I just kind of eliminated this side of the room. I apologize the way it's set up. So yes.
That's fine. Just a question: what are your expectations and goals as far as the student athletes in relation to academics and life skills, and how that applies, of course, to APR and how their behavior is on and off the field and in the classroom?
Okay, so I believe probably my biggest role as a head coach is to get to have players graduate. That's my number one goal, okay? Because that's why they're here. Ultimately, they're here to get their degree and to prepare themselves for life. So that's my number one goal, is we're going to graduate players. The other thing is we got to build guys that are strong socially. Quite frankly, you go into some of these cities and you're pulling out players, and socially they're a little behind, academically they're a little behind. My job is to get them to catch up, and that's what I believe in. If you look at my track record at Utah, my players graduate. okay, and they do well. All right, I'm not interested in kids that are just excited to do the bare minimum and be eligible. If that's the kind of kid that we're dealing with, we're either recruiting the wrong kid or we're not teaching them the right way. So if they're just doing the bare minimums to survive, they probably won't like our program very much. Yes?
Coach, have you had the opportunity of meeting the team yet?
No, I get that opportunity here in just a couple hours. I'm excited for it. Unfortunately, I've heard some of the players have already left because their finals are over, but I will sit down with the team today, introduce myself, hopefully get them all fired up for what we're going to become and what we are. I will meet them today, and I'm excited about it.
Thanks, Coach. You can wrap it up.
Okay, anything else? We'll wrap it up. Hey, one more time, I am so excited to be here. And I'm excited to get out in the community, get our players out in the community, and just serve, right? Serve, create a good product that people want to come to on Saturdays. That's going to be one of my favorite things to watch. So, okay. See, and here's another thing. I got so excited. I am so sorry. Just so you know, there's no such thing as a good coach without a great wife, and I love her to death. We have 4 kids. They said it earlier. The oldest is 13. I'm telling you now, they are die-hard Utah fans, and so we're going to have to flip that color and everything. And my 13-year-old daughter has not missed a home game in her whole life. So they are die-hard football fans. And my 9-year-old made a comment last night about football that you would expect from a guy that's followed the game and is 30 years old and has followed the game his whole life. That's my 9-year-old daughter, so they love it. I just want to thank Sarah real quick. So anyway, you want to say anything?
We're really excited to be here, and you're going to see a lot of us and a lot of kids. So.
All right, thanks again, everyone, for coming. Once again, a pleasure, and a big hand for our new Weber State football head coach, Jay Hill. We'll have some one-on-ones with members of the media here with Coach Hill and Jerry Bovee. Thanks again.